welcome to Octopunk Weekly update for the week of February 4th. I'm gonna move my mic just a little bit closer so I don't have to yell so far because my throat hurts. I'm fine. I just didn't sleep. I slept. I have not finished this warm drink to soothe my voice yet. You're the first people hearing me speak at all today. So, we actually have a lot to talk about today. Some stuff has been progressing, some stuff has been in the works, some stuff has been accomplished. So you might have seen on Twitter, there's been several things I've talked about. The first one is that we achieved picture lock, which means Austin has started the music on Detroit Evolution. We basically have the cut of the film as far as the running time, all the dialogue choices, all the edits, that sort of thing. There's some stuff that could still be tweaked here and there, but I'm pretty happy with the pacing and the way everything works out now. And because we have a locked edit and we have basically, all the time codes for all the dialogue and in English that it'll be, we have been able to move on to opening the call for translators. Now, I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit, but now that we do have, or will soon have a transcription in English, we will be able to... Hi, Austin. He knows my secrets. He found me on the couch this morning when he went to work. Yeah, so now that we have, or we'll soon have an English transcription with all the time codes and everything, we will have an accurate document for the translators to be able to use, so that all we have to do is have them overwrite all the English with their language, and then you just take that file and you import it on YouTube. With Detroit Awakening, I had them do it in Word documents, and I copied and pasted every single individual line of dialogue in the other language into YouTube's little boxes. And I did that for 15 languages. It took 8 hours, and I did it the morning of Detroit Awakening. I did not sleep that night. So I don't want to have to deal with that again for a 75-minute movie, because that sounds awful. And we're probably going to end up having more languages this time. So I think it's much easier if we just make translation documents that you can import into YouTube, and then it's instant. You don't have to deal with it. So more on that in a bit. For now, I want to talk a little bit about other things that have happened this week. So last time we met, I talked about how Paradisa was in the pre-order stage. It is still in the pre-order stage for hardback and ebook. That'll be available February 27th still. But apparently, paperback is available now. And a few of you have taken advantage of this and ordered a copy. A few of you have started reading it or have gotten pretty far. I know a few of you in the chat have actually been reading it and talking about it a little in the Discord. So if you have been interested in Paradise and you don't want to wait until the 27th, you can go to Amazon now and pick up a paperback copy. They're $14.99. Hardback pre-order is $27.99. Ebook pre-order is $4.99. So that's something kind of cool. I know there was a lot of questioning about it, because it's you could order a paperback and it says, well, Prime says it'll be here in a day. So what's up with that? And I thought it was a mistake, but it turns out it is kind of a mistake on Amazon's part, but they are making the book. So you will get a book, and it will come in the mail in 2 days if you order a paperback. So yeah, I thank you, Jessica. I know you've been talking about it in the Discord, and Neb just dropped the link to Amazon for that. And yes, it is kind of a thing where I know some people want the hardback, some people like ebooks. So, just wait till whatever you prefer comes out, or whatever you can afford. It is also, I know not everybody likes books. I'm actually not much of a reader myself. I'm more of a film and video game person. It's kind of strange that I wanted to be a novelist for so long, as for somebody who just never has time to read. So the other thing I talked about last week is that we have a new sort of segment on Opwu that I think is really cool. We now have a Redbubble store, so we have a lot of different types of merch now, more than I can ever talk about in one broadcast. So I figure that it would be cool if I could highlight, a certain thing each week. So this week is cell phone cases. So If you go to Redbubble, octopunkmedia.redbubble.com, there's a variety of designs. These are all the different designs that we offer, and all the different types. We have iPhone and Galaxy models. We also have the what are they called? The one on that right end that's like a flip case. That's available for the iPhone 6. I wish it was available for more models, but just the iPhone 6. But there's like iPhone 4 through like 11, and I don't know if there's an iPhone 11 at this point, but basically any iPhone or Galaxy model that you can think of, they offer on Redbubble, and these are all the different designs. We've got a couple different Read 900 designs, we've got the patterned Iggy's, we've got Livescreen, we've got the We All Evolved Detroit Evolution design. So if you're interested in decorating your phone with a little bit of new flair, consider checking this out. We have had a few people order them already. If they've come in and you've liked them, feel free to take a picture of them and post them on Twitter and stuff. I would be curious to see what some of them look like, and I want to make sure that they turn out okay. And this is just the beginning, of course. I definitely will, every time I upload a new design to Redbubble, I'll probably try to make it functional with the cell phone cases as well. So just stay tuned. As you saw on Twitter, I got an email from Sticker Mule today. They have a sale on buttons, so I'm probably gonna be ordering a button design. I think I know what design I want to do. Long story short, I realized that it's very strange that after all this time, we have not one lick of Chartreuse merch. So I think the buttons are going to be Chartreuse themed, but we'll see. He's difficult to put on a button or like do art for, because I have to do it based on a picture of him, and it's just like the resolution sucks. So so yeah, we'll see what happens. Like that little Chartreuse emote is like the best that I can do. That's super small resolution. He looks good in, 50 pixels. I don't know if he'll look good on a button, but we'll see. Back to talking about the translation a little bit. So Neb and the mods have a link in the chat, hopefully in a bit. There you go. Apply to be a translator. Thanks, Neb. You're on it. There is a Google form that we're accepting applications through. You can go to that form and check out all the questions. Most of them are pretty straightforward. Basically, the way that this is going to work is I have gone to the translators who translated Detroit Awakening, and I've asked them if they want to apply. There's also a few other folks who have come to me between Awakening and now, asking to maybe translate Evolution or offer their services, so I went to them as well. So they kind of had first dibs on applying. But now I want to open it to everybody, because there's hundreds of languages out there, and there's plenty of languages that we don't already have, that I want to open it up to. And on top of that, I really think that this time we may need to assemble teams for a lot of the languages, because it is such a big script. So the way we're planning on doing this, with Awakening, I basically took the transcript and I just sent it to individual translators, and they filled out the Word document and they just sent it back to me. This time we're doing a much more collaborative approach. I have an entire separate Discord server just for translators to hang out and discuss translations, their own language and with the other translators of other languages. So you can consult me on context, you consult the mods on context. I got a lot of questions last time when we did the translations about like informal versus formal uses of the word you. I got a lot of questions last time trying to define like words like it and that. Like if I say, I saw that in the script, they would sometimes come to me and be like, well, I need to know what it is, or I need to know what that is, because my language does not have a word that's just referential. I need to know the noun. I need to know the object. So when it comes to questions like that, I think it would be cool if we have this open Discord server where you guys can just throw questions into like a big channel, and I can just answer them in front of everybody, so everybody can get the same information at the same time. On top of that, that allows translators of the same language to go to the same channel and collaborate very easily, and basically segmented group chats for the different languages. It's much more organized. We're also using Aegis Sub this time, which is a free program that allows you to overwrite the English with your language and export it all in a time-coded file that can be uploaded to YouTube, rather than trying to do it, any other less sensible way. way. But we're also open to not using Aegis Sub if there's other subtitle programs that you prefer. That's totally fine. That's an option in the form as well. So you just check out that form if you're interested in applying. You know, I'm basically going to look at assembling teams that I think are functional together. I think that I need to have kind of at least one person of every language who can at least functionally use Aegis Sub in some capacity, but other people don't have to. And especially in cases where you might have a few people who all know the same language, but they don't have the time to do it all themselves. I can assemble that team and try to get them to kind of split the work and share the workload. Translations would be due April 1st. So I would try to get you guys a transcript by February 14th. Basically, I just have to get that picture lock done and make sure I'm married to, you know, the time codes and everything, and I haven't missed anything. Send it to Rev to get an English transcription, edit the English transcription, make sure that it's accurate, and then once I have that in hand, we can go ahead and move forward with all the translations. So I think it's about 6 to 7 weeks that everybody will have to complete their translation, which is a lot longer than we had on Detroit Awakening. So if you want some spoilers for Detroit Evolution, that's your perk for being a translator. It's not the script. You don't have context all the time. You don't know what's happening necessarily in the scenes. There's still some surprises that, you know, dialogue does not betray. But, I mean, you would know all of the dialogue and most of the spoilers, like 80% of the movie if you become one. So for those of you who maybe don't want to be spoiled, maybe you don't want to be a translator because it is inherently spoilery to become one. But check out that form that Neb dropped in the chat if you're interested in becoming one. If this is YouTube and you're watching this later, I've put it in the description. If Kim says, let's hope there aren't any translators that just say they're starting translations for an April Fool's joke. Oh, yeah, I'd be asking for that. Sorry, Michelle, I haven't done it. Speaking of Detroit Evolution still, as usual on Opwu, we do a behind-the-scenes pick or a screen cap from the movie every week. So this week it's behind-the-scenes pick, but I think it's a pretty dope one. There's a lot of mystery going on in this frame. Nine's looking very dashing and dangerous. So I will post this on social media later, on Twitter and such. So if you want to get a closer look at this and start fan theorizing or just, you know, just fawn over how epic Maximilian looks in this shot, hashtag Danger Nines. Hashtag Dangerous Maximilian. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue as much. And speaking of Dangerous Austin, you know that we finished our Detroit Become Human playthrough on Thursday. Austin stumbled his way into a good ending. I saw someone describe it as, it's like you trip over something but still manage to right yourself. And it's like, yeah, that was basically it. Austin managed to get everybody alive at the end of Detroit Become Human, except Chris Miller. He went deviant as Connor, died, became Machine Connor again, then deviated again at the end. Still managed to keep Hank alive and his friend through all that, and in theory could just go back to Hank as a deviant and like be like, "Oh, I deviated again. I'm still good, Connor. I'm glad I saved your life." It's just like, it was a weird playthrough. It is one of the strangest playthroughs I've ever had. You can watch it on Twitch VOD if you're curious about it. But speaking of that, that means that we have a new Twitch game that we will be playing, sort of. We're returning to Aviary Attorney on Thursday. We have a case. We got a case we gotta finish, Sparrow Son. We left off on a cliffhanger last time, so we gotta finish this case and put away some wolfy man, probably, who probably committed some kind of murder and some kind of prince who ain't really a prince. So if you're interested in Aviary Attorney, you gotta come see JJ Falcon in, you know, Bird Knives Out on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. We will be doing that for at least a week. We'll probably just be doing that and finishing this case for this week and moving on to a longer playthrough next week. Aviary Attorney is kind of our intermediary game that we like to play. And yes, people hands, birds with people hands game. If you are not familiar with Aviary Attorney, you need to go catch up on YouTube. We do a good job. Our Aviary Attorney playthroughs are better than anything else we've ever made, including all our Detroit shit. If you are a patron, we got some cool stuff coming up this week. Last night rather, I went ahead and posted the first Detroit Evolution behind the scenes picture of the month. We got another one coming on Friday. And tomorrow we've got our first video of the month for early access silver patrons. That is on representation in Detroit Evolution, where our cast and crew talks about what we're doing for representation of the LGBT community, of people of color, of all sorts of identities in the film, and kind of where we're coming from on that, our motivation for that, maybe what we're doing to try to even the playing field for everyone behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. So it's a good little video. I think you'll take an interest in it, and that will be available tomorrow, and then it'll be coming to YouTube next Wednesday. As far as what's coming on YouTube this week, we have last week's Patreon video, which is Filters with Brett. This is a lot of fun. Brett enthusiastically talks about filters that go into his camera. And I think that's pretty much all we have coming this week on YouTube. We got a little behind. But we've also got, I'll cross-post this to YouTube, and I'll probably end up cross-posting Aviary Attorney to YouTube as well if you missed the actual stream on Thursday. Now, the final thing we got this week, as usual, is Fan Art of the Week. We've had a lot of really cool stuff this week, a lot of unique stuff. And I will start with this. Salt is Just Angry Sugar by Nicole. You can follow them on Instagram at Nicole_the_cool_kid. Gavin comments that Salt is Just Angry Sugar, and Nines replies, I worry about you sometimes, Gavin. In case you've wondered what they talk about in that car scene, it's probably something like this. It's probably just, shower thoughts that come to Gavin's mind as he's sitting at 2 a.m. with the Nines in a car, not talking about anything. Next up, we have one that I'm sure that you have all seen at this point because it's absolutely stunning. This is Dame Deviant's portrait of Nines. Dame Deviant also did a portrait of Chris Trindade this week as well, so you can check out their profiles for that, and you can see that as well. But this is just, one of the most colorful paintings or pieces of fan art I've ever seen. Even Maximilian was talking about how he wants this one framed, I think. This is just next level. And I saw them commenting about how, I want to redo it. It didn't get his face right. I'm thinking to myself, I know his face. I stare at it 8 hours a day, and I have for the last 3 months. That is his face. That is all the details. So absolutely, absolutely stunning from Dame Deviant. And finally, we got a new kind of fan art. I have never seen anything like this before. This is absolutely incredible. Someone did, or Nerd Nails Etc. rather did, nail art for Detroit Evolution. I'm so flattered by this. I can't believe that this is on someone's fingernails, that our movie is living on someone's hand right now. This is so cute. It made me immediately want to go do a version myself. I've been looking for nail inspiration for a while. This is so cute and so wonderful. I guess I would need to get myself one of those little nail polish pin things, with the fine tip pins that come full of nail polish, because man, that takes a steady hand to be able to do that. I should do a failed it version of this. I should try to do a version of it myself, and it's just disastrous. But yes, thank you, Nerd Nails Etc. This is so cool. I've just never seen anything like this, and be sure to follow them on Instagram. If you're curious about where you can see us this year, we got a Captain Comics Expo coming up February 22nd through 23rd here in Charleston. We'll be selling all of our new merch copies of Paradisa and copies of Livescream. We'll also be in Charlotte for Saga Conference coming up, and we've got that Detroit Evolution premiere coming up in New York, and I'm glad that I see that because I want to talk about that too. That is the other thing that has kind of been happening this week. In the background. I can't really talk about what we're doing for it yet, or, anything nailed down or dates and stuff, but I can tell you this. Number one, I've found a good venue for the screening, and I found a great venue for the after party. Both are in budget. Both are within a block of each other. Seems to be working out great. I still am working out the logistics, though. Hopefully, there's no, like, second shoe that drops or we lose the dates or, anything bad happens. But so far, things are working out really good for this New York premiere. And I should have information for you guys really, really soon on ticket prices, on venues, on everything that's going to be included with the whole experience. And, of course, a date. So keep an eye out for that in the next 2 weeks or so. We will definitely be, we should have news very, very soon. I'm working very hard, and the mods are working hard as well, researching all of our different options for where to do this premiere in New York. So yeah, I'm really excited, especially this after party venue, man. I'm looking at it. It's like a karaoke bar. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope it works out, and I hope that we can get it. And the screening venue itself is also very, very, very cool. It's a very professional venue, and there's some technical things about it that, from a filmmaker standpoint, make me feel much more comfortable going into it, because when you travel 1,000 miles, into a different city to have this world premiere that people from all over the country or all over the world even are kind of like pay all this money to travel to come see, you want the technical stuff to work out. You don't want to get into the theater and it's like, oh crap, my my file won't play on their projector and it's all for nothing. We can't screen the movie. They have a lot of redundancy and a lot of different options for screening, so I can bring like 4 different formats or something like that, and they'll let me screen any of them. So that makes me able to sleep at night because I don't have to worry about something going wrong with the actual screening and everything. So yeah, we will have news on that very soon. I am working a lot on trying to nail down the logistics for that. And that if I have a release date soon, then there's something else that might be coming soon too. But, we don't know quite about that. Just, it's coming. It's coming. So, just keep an eye out. Come back to Apu next week. Maybe we'll have news. As always, our P.O. Box is 62762 North Charleston, South Carolina, 29419. I did have a little bit of mail in there last time when I went there. I will be going to the post office today. I got a couple Patreon calls that I'm going to make after this broadcast. One of you is eagerly anticipating me in the chat right now. And after I do that, I will go to the post office. So if you've sent me something recently and I haven't gotten it yet, maybe it will be in there today and I will let you know. So I believe that is all for today. Thank you for joining me. Neb just threw in, or Pillow rather just threw in the Detroit Evolution forum. Thank you, Pillow. If you are interested in becoming a translator for Detroit Evolution, I think that that's about it. On Thursday, we do have that Aviary Attorney stream, so be sure to come back here at 8 p.m. on Thursday to catch us catching animals with people hands and murderers and shit. If you like Knives Out, I'm just going to do this voice the whole time, so, this is my thing. I did this before Daniel Craig did. I did this before the movie came out. I didn't know nothing about that, and I went to go see that movie and was like, he's a thief. Anyway, if you want to get more Apu, definitely check back here at noon next Tuesday as well. So we've got a couple streams coming up in the next week. You can catch that Detroit Evolution behind the scenes pic that I showed right now, basically, as I take off and post it on social media. And as always, stay great, hydrate, have a happy time zone. Bye.